top of the Borg list is Pirate Borg. So Black Powder and Brimstone is sort of closing in on it, and I think I've only just started reading it. Maybe Slayborg might sort of come up that list a little bit more as well. But today I'm going to be taking a review of a book that has been sent to me for free by Zac Goins. I've booked in for an interview with him. So what he's done is he sent me a couple of books, hasn't asked me to review them, so very kindly. So he's written lots of books, but specifically the two that he sent me just before the interview we're going to be going through are Pirate Borg. So I will be reviewing this one and the next one in an upcoming video. But the one I'm going to look at today is Tangled in Shrouds. So this is it's a sort of mini adventure, sort of 4-part adventure with brilliantly 4 other locations and plots that you can put in. What I really like, slight spoilers as I always end up with this as soon as I put the camera on, what I like is regardless of which faction or affiliations your players either like or hate, this has got 3 different, it's the same story, but 3 different arcs and ways the players can go through and develop how the adventure is going to work out. There will be spoilers in this. I'm not going to completely spoil the adventure, but obviously I'm running through an adventure. So if you are a player, if you're one of my players, I'll tell you when to go. If you are a player and you want to play Pirate Borg Adventures, send this video to your Games Master, because you're going to want to be involved in this, but you're not going to want to watch it. Just want to think about it. This also does come with a load of VTT tokens, maps. There are, I think, 7 or 8 maps for each of the sort of locations and the big battle map. And there's around about 20 different VTTs from all of the captains to all of the crew, etc. So you got the little token. So if you are playing this on Roll20 or any of the others, you can just easily just convert them straight in, and you haven't got to worry about what they all look like. Before I get into that, as always, let's just go through where you can pick up. So here we do have the Drive Through RPG page here. Tangled in Shrouds, so it's a Pirate Borg adventure. It's available currently as a PDF. And it's, what's that, $5.89, so that's probably about $8-9 US. Again, just being completely honest, I did not pay for this. Zac has sent me it. He hasn't asked me to review it. But if you do want to pick this up or any other book, please do consider my affiliate link, because most of the things that I review on this channel I am paying for out of my own money. And finally, and thank you to everyone that uses this, my affiliate link is starting to sort of break in to be able to use that more than my own funds to turn it back, buy more things and turn it into reviews. So whoever's using it, I don't know who you are, but thank you, massive thumbs up for doing that. So here we have the Pirate Borg Adventures. It's a 27-page book here. We'll just do the summary. So Tangled in Shrouds is a nautical focused 1 to 3 session scenario for Pirate Borg. It's a 1 in 3 adventure with 6 new enemy captains. We'll get into that when we get into the video. So 3 new armadas, a bonus mini adventure, and then we've got some sort of new relic shanties and toadmen, etc. And you can see just some of the fantastic artwork. Now we're going to head over to the book. So as you're a player, you need to disappear now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Say send your Games Master over, and we'll just get straight over to the book. Here we have the front cover for Tangled in Shrouds, and my first impression, probably the same as yours, is this is quite an angelic sort of front cover, but when you spend a little bit more time on it, that's not any sort of crown, that's the wheel of a ship. It's probably got a better name than wheel, I'm not really sure, but so yeah, really like it. It's mysterious, kind of spooky, but all the while obviously quite a nautical kind of setting. So let's get into the front. As you get with all these Borg books, the initial inside covers, you're going to get some random tables here. So we've got D12 here for cargo and salvage hauled from merchant wreckage, and then a D8 for cargo and salvage hauled from navy wreckage. Slight spoilers, you're going to get merchants to sink as well as navy. So here we've got the credits on the right hand side here. So game designed by Zac Goins and Gregory Harris, and then we've got other people that edited artwork, etc. within here. You have been warned. I have said, if you're a player, you kind of need to go. Right, so here we're going to go. This is just then going to explain exactly how this book works. So it is a 3-in-1 adventure that can be called upon as needed. So you can input it anywhere. It does say it's a good idea to drop it in when your PCs are carousing or looking for any sort of trouble. Okay, there is a skull icon as well to sort of bring you back if your players get lost. It'll make sense as we go through it because, say, part 1 you don't have to do. You can just jump straight in at part 2. Depending on how you're going to do the carousing, but it'll make sense once we get to it exactly how it works, because it's got this little example here, and what you need to do is keep it consistent. So if you're going to have someone be from the British, then you follow through and use the British parts. You can do it with the Spanish as well as the French. It'll make sense when we get to it. I'm probably not explaining it very well. And then we'll just get into the table of contents, which isn't hyperlinked, which well, I've got to mention it. So we got the inside cover, and then GM's guidance. Part 1 is piss off, and then part 2 is cut and run. 3 is ship ahoy, and then part 4 is no quarter. That is basically your adventure. We've then got some bonus contents here. So Becalmed, Greed Springs Internals, and then we've got these 3 scenarios. The narrative rundown just explains the adventure itself. So the cruise does something to annoy the local governor. He attracts their attention of a woman who stows away on the vessel. We then get into Cut and Run, where they are being chased with a storm coming. Then they'll meet someone that may or may not help them. Hopefully they will. You're going to get a big sort of battle, sink the naval fleet, and everyone sails away and they're happy. Okay, that's your plot. So this is the opening section. So here we've got Piss Off, which it does come with 4 different hooks. Again, I'm not going to go through them. And you've got a little bit of random things that you can find or pinch during the party. So the ongoing theme here is you're going to meet a woman. So she's either Kitty, Miss Colette, or Lady Catalina. And that depends whether you're going to run this encounter for the British, the French, or the Spanish. Okay, because what you do is, so you've got the local fleet captains here. So you've got Bellamy, Roche, and Sukio, I think that is, mingles with the governor. So the governor is going to come from the same place. So throughout the whole adventure, so let's say your players are British, then you wouldn't run this through or they get on with the British people and they want to maintain that relationship. You wouldn't do it. You would then have, make it the French one, which we'll come on to. Actually, the best way to show it's here. So the governor will be French in this example. So you then use Le Baron Rouge, the French captain, and his stats. But scroll it back. The lady will be the same. Her stats will remain constant. It's got 4 alternatives. So as I said, replayability is fantastic in here. But we'll scroll back one more page either. So she will either be British, Kitty, Mrs. Colette, French, or Lady Catalina if you go down the Spanish. Again, the governor is going to be just the governor, and the henchmen, etc., will be the same. Okay, so there's a chance for a little fight to start with, but theoretically the players will flee. They will then find out that the lady is stowed away on the ship. We're then going to get into this really interesting combat here, because one thing Pirate Borg does, it's got some really good, quick, fun combat rules for ship combat, as you'd imagine. And they're being raced here. So you've got the player character ship at the front. You've then got 3 ships behind that are chasing them. And it gives you the options. And also, I should mention this massive squall here. So this is this massive storm and it gives the players have got 3 options really. Go into the squall to try and escape. Take flight, just sod off as fast as they can, or turn around and fight. It gives you the indications of what's going to happen and the impact. And also, again, replayability. We've got 4 different options down in the bottom right hand corner here if you want to replace the squall with Davy Jones himself or another fleet or something like that. We'll then go into part 3, where they will have escaped so far, and then they will see this new ship coming through, which is a captain that the players just happen to have known or met. You can just build that into the backstory. Got some stats for some toadmen that happen to be the race of people that are on his ship. Then part 4, finally, you're just going to have this big combat. But there's a slight twist, because what happened in part 2 is all the ships sank. and then they'll all come back as an undead army. So, for example, if you went down the British route, the captain's now a sea wraith, and the ship has changed as well. If you're going down the fruit, he is a skeleton captain, and the Spanish is a ghost captain. So replayability is really good. So as a games master, if you're going to play this with different groups, you're not going to get bored because you can just put a different spin on it all as well. And then finally, once everything checks, what bobs to the surface, what rewards, etc. will the players get? Finally, what's happened to Kitty? Where's the lady gone? We've got a D8 here of random things that can happen, including she transforms into a sea hag. She just jumps into the sea. She's going to try and marry one of the players, or she's just left a note here saying, come find me in Barbados. Great idea. We then get the 4 bonus sort of scenarios. So this scenario it's designed to be put in between part 2 and 3. And it's a mini game of basically the players starving, the crew starving, trying to keep the motivation going, trying to catch things. So it's I say mini game. To me, it just runs like a little mini sort of game and adventure. And finally, we've got 3. There's 2 one-page adventures and then 1 double-page adventures. So these are just key locations with a little bit of intrigue, sort of traps, treasures that the players can find that you can put on sort of any islands. They don't form any part of the adventure because the main adventure is just on a ship. But what it does is gives you 3 sort of little one-shots that you can kind of put everywhere. That's it. We are at the end of the book, but I don't think that's really that's it. There's so much in here. For 27 pages, so you get a really fun sort of 1 to 3 part adventure, as it says, that you can kind of, it's a 4-part adventure, but 1 to 3 sessions. The replayability is really good. There's so random places to start, random stuff and things that are going to go on in the adventure. If you've never done the seas encounter in Pirate Borg, you're going to want to pick this up. Obviously, the downside, if you're going to run it off, not on a VTT, you're going to need quite a big board to run that on, but most people have large tables, and it will nice and easily fit if you go and buy one of those sort of plastic mats which have got the hexagons on the one side and the squares on the other. I can't think of any, and even if I did, I'm not going to sort of plug one company's, but we use them quite regularly. The battle mats, you know what I mean. But not only that, for that's just over £6, so it's sort of $10, I'm going to guess. You also then get this other little, say, that mini game of trying to stop your crew rebelling and dying of starvation because of the things, you're going to have to go fishing and stuff. But then you get 3 really interesting, the 2 quick ones and then the longer adventure. So much rammed in here. Thank you, Zac, for sending this to me. Really appreciate it. So definitely, gets the seal of approval, or however I choose to call it. I'm glad I've got this. I will be running this on a Pirate Borg adventure. Down in the comments below what you think is the best part of this. Because you'll have, you can pause it and go and look through some of those random roll tables. If you've enjoyed this video, so I've got the next one coming up very soon, as well as the interview with Zac Goins that should be out either, it depends on when you're watching this. It'll either be out or it'll be coming within 24 hours from this video watching. So if you've enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.